Hello, my darling Fumi Nation. How are you? How are we? My name is Fumidesaluvold. For those of you that are stopping by for the very first time, you guys are so very welcome indeed. Are we living and loving the necklace? It was a birthday present from one of you that attended the meet and greet a week ago. I can't believe that a week has already gone by. And when I tell you I'm living and loving it, we're going to have an unboxing gifting party, yes, of all of my gifts that I received from you, Fumi Nation. You deserve the applause. I love every single one of them, and I want the unboxing to be shared. All right, episode of the day. Larissa Pippen, who is the ex-wife of Scotty Pippen, is now dating Marcus Jordan, Michael Jordan's son. I did not know this, but Scotty Pippen and Michael Jordan did not get along. I think there was some sort of documentary that came out where Scotty Pippen really expressed how disappointed he was in Michael and how he felt unappreciated and, devalued. And so it's out there. And so Marcus Jordan, who happens to be in his early 30s, met Larissa Pippen platonically about 4 years ago. But within the last year or so, they've become romantically involved. And Larissa came out officially on Valentine's Day to express her love for Marcus. She's about 16 years older than Marcus. And she was also 10 years younger than her ex-husband, Scotty. I think she has 4 children with him. I think 3 boys and 1 girl. Don't quote me. Anyway, she went on to the Tamron Hall show. And Tamron held her feet to the fire, as a journalist would and should, and asked her all of the thought-provoking questions, and really, honestly, all the questions that I think any audience that has been following the story with Larissa and Marcus would ask. Tamron was justifying her interview with Larissa on another show where she was asked about this, and she said there was one thing that Barbara Walters had said, and it echoed to her every single time she does interviews. I want to make sure that when I walk off that show, I don't run into any one of you and you say to me, why didn't you ask this question? Why didn't you ask that question? She also went on to say, I don't have any bias towards Larissa. I have a job to do, and I will ask the questions. And you should be prepared to answer those questions once you come onto the show. And your publicist, your PR people are responsible if you feel uncomfortable in any way, shape, or form. When I was in California, I really understood what showbiz was. I saw so many angles of it. And there were a couple of things I never knew, and I'm going to share that with you. Actors, celebrities, entertainers, what have you, have riders lists. What's a riders list? It means, for example, if you have Jennifer Lopez coming onto my show, a talk show, her people will get in touch with my people, and she would have a riders list of how she wanted her guest room to be. Maybe she wants to have open windows. I love open windows. I cannot be in any confined space that doesn't have air. I love air swishing through one window to another. That's me. But, hypothetically say, she only drinks still water. She's allergic to nuts, stuff like that. I wouldn't care to be asked certain questions or questions about my personal life, or don't bring up my children, for example. That's a good one because, as you very well know on this show, Ula doesn't like Adrian to be shown at all. Every once in a while I'll, squeegee him in with a picture or a clip like I did with the last episode. But the big picture is that you would never see Adrian sitting beside me. I wouldn't do that. So that's a riders list. You also have a list where there are questions that you don't want to be asked. And the show and the PR people for that talent will go back and forth until they come to middle ground where they agree on what episode or the interview is going to be. That is why sometimes some celebrities look at their publicist across the room and say, what is this? Because we talked about it and I said I didn't want to answer those kind of questions. So Larissa should have had that kind of buffer before she went on. Because after the fact, Larissa said that she felt that Tamron Hall was being judgmental and being mean and being unfair. So I got a lot of questions, requests in my DMs on Instagram, and you said, Fumi, we would love to have your opinion on this. So I'm going to unpack everything. Michael Jordan and Scotty Pippen. I'm going to unpack Larissa, being a wife, being an ex-wife, dating a younger man, 16 years younger. We're going to unpack Marcus and Tamron Hall. Whatever happened between Michael Jordan and Scotty Pippen is between those two. It is between those two. As a wife, you will support your husband. You would support your husband. You might not even necessarily agree with whatever gripe he has, but you would tell him that behind the scenes and you would hold a united front because you are Mr. and Mrs. Larissa is divorced from Scotty Pippen. She is no longer married to him. When somebody parts ways, they part ways for a reason. It just occurred to me when I was watching the Tamron Hall show interviewing Larissa that I wondered if this would be an issue if it was Scotty dating Larissa's arch enemy. I was just throwing it out there, you know, playing devil's advocate. Would it be a big issue? Is it a big issue? And is Larissa required to still be loyal to Scotty Pippen? All the way down to, he's not my friend, so you can't talk to him, you can't talk to his entire family, my children can't be friends with his children. Are we going to trickle that all the way down? Or are we going to find a place where we can patch them up in some way, shape or form? Or not allow this to poison everybody from that family to this family for generations to come? I'm just curious. Larissa is her own person. And I think that basketball wives or wives of sports personalities get a very tough ride. You hear the statements, oh, you're nobody, you're just so-so-so's wife. Or without him, you wouldn't be anybody. I think it's a very, very tough pair of Louboutins to fill because you get to enjoy the glamorous life. You do. Beautiful things, beautiful places. But do you get the love of your husband, who is loved by so many people as well as other women, that he might or most probably love back or make love to? You're between a rock and a hard place. You're meant to be the wife, keep quiet, look cute, and you're nobody. I think it's a very tough call. I don't know why they got divorced. I don't side either one of them. I don't know. But is she allowed to have her own life? Yes. She's allowed to live her own life. And if she found love on the opponent's side, I'm positive she'd been thought about all of the pros and cons. I have an episode where I talked about dating. Younger men, older men. Younger women, older women. And I said it was a safe space, bracket. 10 years younger, 10 years above. So while Larissa is dating Marcus, I do think he's a bit too young. I do think that Larissa, he's a bit too young. 16 years? They're calling me. Always calling me. Is a lot. So, like I was saying, so I do feel that he's still a little too young. But maybe Larissa will find happiness with Marcus for the end of her years. Because I, who am sitting here, I dated a man in my 30s and he was 31 years older than I. And I had the most wonderful time. I really did. Until I thought, you know what, I think he's a little... he was older than my dad. He was older than my dad. But we dated for 2 years. And he taught me literature and history and cultures and all of that. I lived for it. I did. But then I really did think about having children with him. Would it be fair? Would it be this? Because I have to be as transparent. So that is where I will come from. I don't think that Tamron Hall was harsh. I think that she asked the right questions. I think that when you go onto any show, you open up yourself to be sidelined by things that you didn't expect. You cannot have a soft touch. Doesn't make sense. Then why the interview? I might as well wait for you to tell me something on your Instagram stories because you only want to speak about what you want to speak about. That's not interesting to me. I want you to be taking sideways about the unexpected and how you will respond. Tamron Hall asked, have you met the parents? It's a very, very valid question. It's the same thing with myself and Ula. I met his family as he met mine. Yes, that's the most natural thing to ask. Where is this relationship going? If it's not going to where you're looking for ever after, then why are you doing it? She asked the valid questions. She held her feet to the fire and she asked the questions. Because when push comes to shove, that is why we want to listen to all these kind of daytime talk shows. Tamron Hall is a journalist. That's her foundation. Pretty, gorgeous clothes, but she's going to ask the questions. And to be honest, that's why I watch. That's why I watch. That's why I love. Marcus could be in awe. He's only 30 plus in comparison to Larissa. But you have, my father married at 26, 27. He's not that young. And he knows what he's doing and knows what he wants. For me, just wish them the best. That's how I look at it. I hope that it's not any kind of vendetta. I hope that Larissa is not doing this to poke her fingers in between Scotty Pippin's eyes. I hope she's not doing that. One never knows. But is it news? Yes, because Scotty Pippen made it very clear that he and Michael Jordan ain't friends. End of conversation. How Larissa is supposed to carry that load and weight on her back, that's not fair necessarily. And she does not owe any loyalty to anybody. Is it newsworthy? Yes. Would I have avoided it? Kinda, sorta, because I don't really like young boys anyway. But that's me. I cannot put myself in her Louboutin shoes. She got married, it didn't work out. She got married young, I think, and she has her children and she's thinking, you know what, I want to live my life unapologetically. And maybe it didn't start off like that, but Marcus makes her happy. You know, he's easy breeze. He's not all of that pressure. I saw a little clip where I think one of the fans just was very aggressive to Larissa and was like, oh, you're hardcore or something like that. And that's unnecessary. You can't bully and you cannot expect other people to live the lives that you think they should. I don't think that is fair. Larissa said that she's met Michael Jordan and his wife. That is wonderful and interesting that the way Scotty feels about Michael has not by extension extended that to Larissa because she said they've gone on holidays, she's been to their house. So there are different ways and there's a different approach that you can take when it comes to hostility to try to water cool it down. Having said that, having said all of that, I will still catch feelings. Because if I was upset about somebody that I really detested, I don't want their children making friends with Adrian. I said it. I don't. I don't want them. I don't want your kids. I don't want them in my house. If I felt that strongly, no, I don't. I just have to keep it 100 with you. Feelings are feelings, and sometimes they don't have to make sense. It's how you feel. So I don't know to what degree Scotty feels about Michael Jordan. It could also extend to contracts and to big money deals that perhaps he felt he was slighted from. Who's to say? But if you are telling me, yes, I met like a couple of girls, remember I've told you, that really, really betrayed me. I don't want their children in my house. By extension, because I don't want them in my house in any way, shape or form. That's where Adrian and I will really, 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 really argue. I don't want it. I'm keeping it really honest. And it's a bitter pill to swallow, but it's true. So I'm just calling out different angles. You guys let me know in the comment section how you feel about it. And for me, you know, the big question was, did I think that Tamron Hall, because this is the second time she's coming up. Remember, she interviewed Portia. It's her job. And I would do the same thing. If I have a talk show today, I would ask the hard questions. That is the cliffhanger. Those are the clips that you put out there and say, watch the show tomorrow. Yes, it's my job. It's her job. And now that Tamron Hall is coming up twice, now beware that she's not playing no kind of games. You come on her show, she's going to ask the questions. Don't forget to like, to subscribe, hit the notification button, and I will see you guys sooner than later. Okay, my darlings? I live, I love. See you soon. Mwah.